Today we're going to be covering tips to complete all of these events and tournaments as a free-to-play player. Current fusion event, champion training event, and all these current tournaments. Welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm B-Hub, and today we're going to start this thing off with some tips for our free-to-play community. So check it out. If you're a free-to-play player, how do you go about completing these events and tournaments with ease and effectiveness? Well, first things first, you want to store your resources. This is going to be really important. You're going to want to stock up a lot of your stuff except for your energy. Obviously, use your energy and don't go over 130 if you can help it. But for this, you want to store up things like shards, and you want to store up stuff like silver. You want to stockpile these resources until an event comes out where you're going to need to use them. But it isn't just about waiting for any old event to come out. You want to wait for an event that has a prize that is worth it. So let me give you an example. If we go to our current events right now, there are two events that are going on at the moment. You might have to give this a second to load. But you have the Artifact Enhancement event, and then you have the Champion Training event. So with the Artifact Enhancement event, this right here, this isn't really worth it. You don't have to burn all of your silver just because there's an event out right now. You can if you need to level some stuff up, you can, because you can grab some of these earlier rewards, kind of like I did. But I will not be fighting hard to complete the rest of this. I mean, a Void Shard is good and a Skill Tome is good, but there are better events that will come my way, and there will be better events for you too. Now, for the Champion Training event, yeah, you want to go all in on this event. Look at this. You get some legendary gear. You get 4 different heroes. You get a legendary skill tome and a sacred shard. That is worth it. This is an event that you want to go in on. This is an event that you want to try for. It's actually worth giving it your time and energy. Those rewards are good. So that would be my first piece. Save your resources. And then the second piece is this: wait for a specific event. So try and do your best to do some calculations on an event before you jump right into it. So for instance, something like the Champion Summoning event right now, the tournament, Champion Chase tournament that's going on right now. Obviously the big pull for this one is the Mistress of Hymns, because the fusion is out right now. It takes 1,500 points to get to the Mistress of Hymns. So before you just see that there's a champion tournament out and you're going to start using all of your shards, take a second and say, wow, all right, let me do the math. If I used all of my shards today, how close could I get to that 1,500? And you can come here to the info tab to see kind of what you get. And what I would do is I would estimate, if I low rolled every single one of my shards, how close could I actually get to getting to that Mistress of Hymns. So do math like that before you hop straight into a tournament and just start investing. And then, because you might end up being upset that you can't make it to the end if you don't have to spend any money. So be aware of where you're at before you start. Here's my last piece of advice: grind. If you're a free-to-play player, you're not going to have money to spend, so you're going to need to invest your time, which means you're going to need to use all of your energy every single day. You're going to need to stay on top of that to make sure that you're not capping off at 130, that you are. Make sure your energy is naturally refilling and you're using all of it. Make sure you're completing your quests every day, and make sure that you're logging on for 3 hours every day to get all of your rewards. You're going to need to do that if you're going to complete these events. Alright, so now let's talk about this new fusion that's out right now. Her name is Molly Tankard, and the question is she even worth all your time, energy, effort? Is she worth the grind as a fusion hero? Alright, so here's what Molly Tankard does. She attacks one enemy. Damage increases if it's under a HP burn debuff. Now her damage is off of her defense, and her base defense is really high, so that's pretty solid right there. Her A2 places a provoke on all enemies for 1 turn, has a 50% chance of placing a provoke debuff on a target for 2 turns instead, and places a reflect damage buff on her for 2 turns. So this skill is really awesome. This is an amazing arena skill right here. This is anytime you can provoke an entire team, and she has an opportunity of provoking them for 2 rounds and places a reflect damage. This is a really, really strong skill. I think she can be an arena powerhouse in that area, very strong. Like I said, she has a high base defense, a high base HP, and she has good speed as well. So her stats are pretty good. This is really good. Right here, revives an ally with 50% HP, fills their turn meter, and places the block damage buff on them. That is a really solid ability as well. That's a good res. This res has no drawbacks. This is solid right here. And then finally, her passive is honestly pretty insane. you can get this reduced to a 1-turn cooldown. So every turn, she fills the turn meter of all allies by 15% when she's hit, or if she's hit by a boss, she fills it by 25%. So this is pretty significant. This is a good increased speed that's going to be able to happen every single turn, more than likely, especially if you get this provoke off, especially if you're getting hit with AoE attacks, all that kind of stuff. I think she is worth fusing. She has a really good kit, and I'm kind of excited to use her. Alright, so now that we know that the fusion hero is a good hero, is it even possible for us to get? Is it possible for you to get it as a free-to-play or maybe a more casual player? And what about these events and tournaments they have going on right now? And we're going to get into that in a second, but if you're part of the community who is kind of tired of these same old kind of things where you have really difficult to complete events that kind of, you know, for a fusion hero like this, like, tell Plarium, let them know. We will continue to tell them stuff like this. It's tough. Like, to complete events like this is not easy. I think it really kind of detracts from all the other things that you have to do in the game. You have to do Minotaur, you have to get gear, you have to do all this stuff, and now you have, if you want this hero, now you have 2 weeks to basically spend all your time leveling up champions and things like that, and that can be pretty tough. So voice your opinions, let them know that we want something different from the game. We want, you know, new events, new something, but let them know that. But now that kind of the negative is out of the way, let's talk about just the reality that we have in front of us. So if you want to complete this event, is it possible? Well, let's take the first moment. Let's look at the event that everyone seems to have really noticed some stuff about, and maybe you haven't yet, so I'll explain this to you. The Champion Training Tournament is one that people are kind of up in arms about right now, and the reason being, assuming that it ever loads for me, is you do not actually get experience for this, you don't get points for this event by leveling up your heroes in the way that you normally would. So if you went to Brutal, you went to 12-3, you did a run, you took 3 heroes from level 1 to level 7, you don't actually get any points from that. The only thing that you get points for in this tournament is by leveling up your heroes in the tavern by using XP brews or sacrificing other champions, leveling up their rank, so from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, etc., or by ascending your champions. You get points for that as well. Now, this is, I mean, this is pretty annoying, right? Like, I don't actually get points the way that I would normally get my points. I don't get it for just a regular level ups. But like I said, we just kind of have to deal with what we have in front of us. So is this completable? Probably, but it will be hard. It will be pretty difficult to complete it. You need 10,000 points. Now the only, I guess, upside is you have 2 weeks to do this to get 10,000 points. But it's going to be hard. Doing just kind of some of the math on this and seeing how much it's going to take, so that you know kind of before you get into this, if you're trying to shoot for this hero right here, this 10,000 point marker, just by trying to do some of the math, if you took 60 heroes to level 3, 20 heroes to level 4, 5 heroes to level 5, and then 1 hero to level 6, so that's really kind of your progression to get a 6-star champion. If you did that, and in addition to that, you even use some brews and things like that on your level 4 heroes to help them get to that level 5 rank, and you used it on your level 6 hero. If you did all of those things, you're looking around 2,300-ish points, and that's for like one 6-star hero. Now, that might be a little discouraging, because that means that you're going to need to do that probably about 5 times within 2 weeks if you want to do this. Now, you can get some additional points depending on obviously how many brews you have. Tips for the brews is you are going to want to only really use them on the highest ranked champions that you have, but at the lowest levels. So like 1 brew on, you know, a 1-star will bring it up to like 7 or like something like that. That'll get you a lot of points. Don't use a ton of brews to try and get a level 30 to a level like 32. That's not a good investment on your resources, so keep that in mind. And for your champions, you get more points when you ascend them when they're a higher rank. So you want to be ascending champions who are ideally 6-star in this moment and things like that to complete this part of the tournament to try and get this guy. Now, there are other ways to do this. There will be other things that come out to try and help complete this event. So if you go to the news and you go to your new Fusion update, you can see down here that you will have some other events right here, right? Dungeon Divers event, Artifact Enhancement event, both of these things like that, where you will have opportunities to get them if you can't complete that event. Now, again, let's do one more positive note, and it's this: at the champion training event, that's an actual event, not the tournament, is going on. You have 1 week and 6 days to complete that, and that is a regular champion training event, and it does actually have some pretty decent rewards in it. You get 2 options of speed gear, the legendary gear right here, a legendary skill tome, and a sacred shard. Those are some pretty good prizes, I will say. Now, here's I guess the silver lining, as much as there is one right now, and it's this: that you can actually do this. I mean, this is going on at the same time as the tournament, which means that while you level up your heroes the regular way in a regular tournament, you will still have to level up their rank. So this will be happening anyways, which means that you kind of have 2 incentives to level up your heroes. Now, obviously, you have 2 weeks to do both of these things, so there is time. It probably is possible, but it will be difficult to complete. And then, obviously, they want you to do more stuff, like buy more shards and things like that for this champion chase tournament. I probably am not gonna fool with this champion chase tournament. I don't know. I have to make a decision. And see kind of what I want to do, if I want to get the Mistress of Hymns this way or not. But yeah, for stuff like that, like there will be other ways to get the heroes at Fuse Hurt if you don't have them already. So go into this with eyes open. That these things are not easy to complete. I'm not going to say that they're impossible to complete. They probably are possible to complete, but they are going to be very challenging. And keep that in mind as a free-to-play player. If you are new to the game, like you joined maybe a couple days ago, this isn't something that you're going to be able to complete. You're going to have a little more experience and time like that under your belt before you do something like this. So know that as well. Now, all that being said, if you are able to get it, she is a pretty good hero, so she is worth it. But I don't know. I'm a little discouraged that we kind of keep getting a lot of the same stuff. So voice your opinions. I'll voice mine as I have right now. We're looking for something new. We're looking for something different. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future. I do still enjoy this game, though. I will say that. I do enjoy the game. I enjoy progressing at the game. Faction Wars has added a lot to do and kind of have on the end game of it. So I don't think that this is a reason to quit the game. I think you should keep playing. I just think that we should continue to voice our opinions for something new and different. So I don't know. There's my take on all the stuff that's going on right now. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit like and hit subscribe. Let me know what you want to see change in the comments below, and what you think that Raid could actually really use to help boost your desire to continue to play. And with that, peace out. Until next time, I'll see you later.